Mark is an expert at making comb honey and is also a longtime honey show judge. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Ann. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me come and see how you do cut comb.
Yeah, welcome. Come on in.
All right.
Should we get started?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Let's start with how you prep your frames, Mark. Now, these are special cut comb frames with a slot right through the thin top bar. And you don't use a whole sheet of foundation?
This has a little starter strip on it. It would stick out 3/4 of an inch to an inch, just like that. So it hangs inside the hive like that, and the bees draw the comb, the foundation downward. And this is what we end up with. The point is, this wax is very heavy, but it's only going to be right across this top inch. All this wax is built down here, this comb down here, the bees did that from scratch. It's going to be super thin. So when you put this on a cracker or English muffin or anything, and that wax is just going to disappear.
And that's because what the bees create below the foundation strip is usually all drone cell size, and that has proportionally less wax.
And that's one of the advantages of just using a starter strip instead of using a whole sheet of foundation. Some producers use whole sheets. I prefer not to because it's so much easier to eat.
Cool. So why do your supers have dates on them?
I try to put a date on them when they go on a hive. You have to look to see if they have enough room.
Yep.
But you can't expect that to be done for at least a month. It takes at least a month from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
At least a month.
All right.
So I don't have to worry about this says 6/19. I don't have to look at that till a month later.
Good tip.
So when you're picking these up, they should be picked up from the sides like this, so you can tip it up and don't have to worry about the frames sliding and disrupting the comb. Flip this over upside down, lay it down gently so they don't fall out, and I'm going to tap them. Just knock the end bars down so they collapse off the rabbit. And we're just going to wiggle this around until it slides up. This has a shallow top bar, so I have a little bit of excess here. I have about 4.5 inches of comb. So from all this practice, I have a pretty good idea how much I can leave. But I do want this to fill the container when I get done. I'm kind of fussy about that. So I do the bottom, then the ends, then the top, and I'm going to trim that one. I get done with the rest of these. Tend to wipe this. This little space right here that you see, the bee space, is almost the correct distance to leave on the bottom of this frame for me. Everybody's frame is going to be a little bit different.
Is that like 1 or 2 cells that you're leaving on the frame?
Well, it's like 3/8 of an inch.
Okay.
Okay. And if I get a little bit too low here, I'll just make it up on the top. And it's a judgment thing. So I can stay away half a cell or so from the top, and I'll bet you that'll be pretty tight in my frame.
When you cut the top, are you feeling more resistance because that's where that strip of foundation was?
You do. It's very hard to cut through that compared to the bottom. And every box of cut comb will be different. Some bees make real heavy comb, and some bees, oops, there's a nail in there. Some bees don't. So. And I'm really not used to this. But I simply take this stick. I got 4 marks on it. They're like 4 3/16 of an inch. Because these frames are a little bit longer than standard, I can trim the ends on these. And to me, that's all presentation. They look much better than that burr comb on the end if you trim it when you get it in the box. So
you'd rather have cut edges on all 4 sides?
I'd like to have cut edges. And that's just the presentation in the box looks so much better when all 4 sides are cut. These are too thick to go in a standard box, so I'm going to cut these in half. I'll just do this by eye. They're just too tall. You'd be crushing the top of the
with the lid.
With the lid, yeah. So you're constantly walking.
Is the part by your thumb the top of the frame?
Absolutely. This is where the rib was, and that's why I grab it that way. the rib is here. I can grab it with one finger. I have the luxury of being able to get my hand around these. Not everybody can say that. I have a big hand. If you can't get your hand around it, you simply pick it up with two hands. Just put your index finger right on that rib right there, because that'll support you. And you have 3 fingers, 4 fingers, whatever, on the weak side, the bottom of the piece of comb honey. So if you were going to drain on this type of, on your board that you cut on, you only have a couple of frames. Maybe you only have 2 or 3 frames within a regular extracted honey super, and you want to make comb honey out of it. You need to drain these, and all you need to do is separate these so they don't touch each other. Just pull them apart, and then they'll drain better. It only has to be 1/4 inch, like that.
Super.
So, but if you don't do that, that honey will hang up in there, and it just won't drain. I pick it up off of here because it's dripping here.
Oh yeah, it's dripping.
It's dripping? Okay. And so when you put that in your box, there won't be any puddle of honey on the bottom. And let that sit overnight. And I did these yesterday. So this one is really light. This is almost show honey, not quite. Couldn't tell you what it was. I might guess that it was sumac, but I can't say that for sure. We had a pretty good sumac flow, but we have nice, beautiful white cappings. The cuts are real neat. The honey is beautiful. This would sell very quickly compared to a honey that perhaps is a color like this. This has a little bit more of an amber honey color to it. There's some really white over here too, but that's all floral source. We have no control over that. The bees have complete control over that. So it depends on what your tastes are, and of course you can't test this before you're buying it. But if you were to put this piece of comb honey next to this piece of comb honey, you'd sell that one first. Why? Because pretty sells. It's just prettier. That's all. So you just pick these up, and we hope that this fills the box completely. You want that to just not quite rub and touch every side. I mean, that fills that box completely. So, and that's the goal. I mean, that's all presentation. Presentation is really important. If you want to sell your honey, presentation is so important. And I do see a lot of cut comb honey that's cut a 1/2 inch away from the edges. And it's just, you're not going to get the same weight. These are going to weigh, I bet you that one weighs close to 14 ounces. This one's probably 13 ounces. They're supposed to average 12 ounces. They're supposed to be 12 ounces. But these are going to be a little heavier. I'm sure that weighs at least 13 ounces. And they wipe the edges down so there's absolutely no chance of a sticky edge when you get it to your farm market. The last thing you want is a little bit of honey on the edge of this box, so every yellow jacket in the county knows it. Just run that around there like close-ups. Take it pass down each side you think there could be honey. So this is my thing. I stack these 6 high in a box, the 10 by 10 square inch or cubicle box, so I can get 24 of these large pieces in a box. I would never put a questionable piece on the bottom like that. It's the ugliest piece on the table. So here's one that needs some help. See how ugly that edge looks? I'll show you how to fix that in a second. Over that. You're not cheating anything. You're just enhancing the presentation.
Right.
You're making it look better. And then I pack it up in those boxes, 24 in a box, and put them in a plastic bag and throw them in the freezer for 2 days. Just in case there's any wax moths in it or anything like that. So they have to be frozen for a couple days, and it takes about 2 days for them to thaw out so that there's not a condensation problem.
So 2 days, 2 days freezing, 2 days thawing.
Exactly.
Like, how do you eat comb honey? You could put it on a slice of apple or on a cracker, add it to a piece of cheese and just gobble it up. And the wax is edible. It's so delicate. Or you could just eat it off a spoon. Swallow that wax. Oh, it's so light.
See you tomorrow.